And are your feet ready for the heat? We'll tell you how to take care of them during the summer months.
Welcome back to Good Morning America Health. I'm Tanya Rivero. Summer is the time to take off the socks and shoes and show off your feet. But the warm weather can also bring on a variety of foot problems, from foot swelling to cracked heels to pain and discomfort from those great summer heels. So now is the time to not forget about your feet. Joining us to share some key remedies to getting your feet feeling better fast is reconstructive foot surgeon and chief of foot surgery at Bronx Lebanon Hospital, Dr. Neal Blitz. Dr. Blitz, welcome. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much.
So when summer comes around, we obviously are so excited to pull on those flip-flops and those sandals, but they're not necessarily so great for our feet, are they?
Sandals and flip-flops aren't exactly bad for your feet, but they're not exactly good for your feet.
Right.
So they can cause a lot of swelling and pain in the arch. So.
Especially if you've had them snuggled into boots all winter long, right?
Yeah, well, your foot's not used to a sandal, and that's what you just picked up on. So especially, a regular shoe sort of coats your foot. A sandal just holds on between the toes, so that causes an issue for you because now all the structure and support comes from one spot instead of the whole foot.
Right, so there's a lack of support that can lead to pain, right? Do you see that a lot?
Well, the foot generally needs support. People that have foot problems are usually problems related to no support. Mm-hmm. So it's better to have some sort of arch. Actually, a sandal is better than a flip-flop because a sandal at least has an arch support in it. Flip-flop, nothing. It's literally walking on some sort of styrofoam.
It has nothing. And so what can that lead to?
Well, if you don't have support, things and problems that can occur in the foot are things like hammer toes, bunions is a big problem, flat feet. And if you have flat feet, it's probably not a great idea to wear flip-flops because there's just no support. And so then the foot's completely collapsed. And this is an example of a foot. And here, there's normal foot. And when you have a flat foot, it functions like this.
You can tell that's painful.
It's definitely painful.
Yeah.
And there's different kinds of flat feet. There's sort of flexible flat feet and stiff flat feet. So you almost really need to know your foot and to know what kind of flat foot you have if you have a flat foot. And that will guide your shoe gear.
Sure. And what are some other common summer issues you see with feet?
In the summertime, everybody is concerned about their cosmetic appearance of their foot. So the first thing that I see is foot hygiene and foot odor. In general, you want your feet to look good and smell good.
Right.
And a lot of times with the summer, you have fungus everywhere, and you tend to get fungal infections, and rashes. So it's a really good idea to take care of your feet and make sure they're moisturized. And if you have a fungus, use an antifungal. The other thing we see, again, summertime is fungus. We see a lot of fungal toenails, but it's not necessarily just the fungus, but people have fungal toenails all year round. But during the summer, their feet are exposed.
Doesn't sound pretty.
It's sort of what a lot of patients say is, my foot looks like Shrek.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
The other thing we see is all the structural problems of the foot. And that is bunions, hammer toes, flat feet.
Yeah. Now, what about sun exposure? I mean, a lot of people don't think about this, but their feet have been hidden all winter. Now suddenly, boom, they're exposed to the sun.
Right.
Should they be putting sunscreen on?
Absolutely. The foot is no different than any other part of the body. It is definitely at risk for melanoma, just like any other part of the body again. But melanoma typically occurs in the bottom of the foot, and that's not necessarily exposed. But what we see with summertime is something that I call beach foot. And beach foot is when somebody just goes to the beach and they put sunscreen all over their body and they neglect their feet. And their feet,
bright red feet.
They're just toast.
Oh no!
They're very red, and I've seen people that have had blisters on their feet, so it definitely is an issue.
Now let's get to high heels, because I know women love high heels. There's no way that you're ever going to get rid of the high heels, but we know they're not great for our feet. Give us an example. Show us what the foot does when it goes into a high heel.
Okay, so this is, of course, is just a normal foot walking.
Right.
Okay, and you see here. Now, when you take a foot, again, you stuff it into a high heel, and I use the word stuff appropriately. You're taking the toes and you have to mash them into the ball of the foot, into the front of the foot. Okay, and then here we go.
Doesn't look comfortable.
So Yeah. Well, I wouldn't know, but you would.
Yeah, it's not.
So the first thing that you're playing with right there is the leg bone and the ankle. And what you notice, in order just to make the foot function properly, you have to bring the foot up like this. And let me just show this from the side.
So already you're in such an awkward position. You're putting all the weight on the ball of your foot, right?
Correct. And that is underneath the big toe joint and the second toe. And what you don't see here is, in order for the foot to function, the toes have to cramp up like this. And when they do that, that's called a hammer toe. In the long term, that could become a stiff problem.
So what kind of problems can all of this lead to, and what tips do you have for the high heel hangover?
Well, the high heel hangover is a condition that we say when somebody has a bruised, beat up foot from high heels. And it's like other hangovers in the sense that you can try to take a Tylenol or some sort of pain medicine to make it feel better, but it doesn't go away so easy, and it's usually a full day of pain. Some people complain of pain for days after wearing high heels. So we have 6 things that we typically talk about with a high heel hangover. The first thing is yoga and stretching. Why yoga? Because the Achilles tendon, which is the largest tendon of the body, it lives back here. And over time, from wearing a high heel, it gets very short, and that puts more pressure on the ball of the foot. So it's very important to do a lot of stretching.
Now, we don't have a lot of time, but I want to make sure we get through all of our points. So yoga, then mineral baths, right? Pamper your feet, moisturize, you say, deep massage, and finally, wear sneakers. I love that one.
Right. It's
just avoid the high heel altogether.
You know, that's what I call a high heel hangover.
Right.
Take some time away from the high heel, let the foot rest.
Dr. Blitz, thank you so much for all of that. And don't forget, you can follow ABC News Now on Facebook and Twitter. Just search ABC News Now.